Okay. What I'd like to do is just continue with the discussion that Adam has started, add a little bit on some of the other things that we've been working with some of our customers on. And that's really getting more into detailed labor data. So a lot of the information that we capture today in terms of manufacturing and production stems from things like work orders. So as folks are closing out work orders, you're keying in this usage information and also labor information as well, hours spent, costs, things like that. And what we're seeing is a trend toward getting more detailed information in that area. Obviously, cost is a major component in production, manufacturing, and really any type of organization. We're kind of centered in right now on manufacturing. But it's applicable in other areas as well. And you really need visibility into that data, that detailed data. And that's where, if you use Stratum Viewer, Stratum, that's what it does, right? The things that we're able to do today with sales and inventory and budgets and things like that, we can do with any kind of data, and labor data would be another area there. So some of the things that Adam talked about in terms of KPIs, average hourly rate, full-time equivalent, number of headcount, things like that, all things that we can glean from this detailed labor data, being able to compare it to standards versus actuals, looking at, where's my production in terms of time, regular time versus overtime, and just starting to get a feel for those kinds of metrics. And what's great, and you've seen this using Stratum Viewer and other modules, other areas of the application, one of the big strengths is you can aggregate this information at various levels of the organization. So you can take that detail level and start to aggregate it up to, well, what am I doing at this group of production lines, for example? Or maybe as a plant, I've got multiple plants across the country, the globe. What are the numbers across those types of hierarchies or dimensions in the organization? So what we've been seeing lately is a trend towards getting data from time reporting systems. So again, traditionally, this kind of data is part of just the manufacturing process, work order, closeout, if you will. But now we're starting to see and have seen and worked with a number of customers on getting this detailed data directly from time reporting systems. So there's a lot of applications out there that are either on-premise or cloud-based, and being able to take that data, get it out of that application, and get it into Stratum. So there's automated approaches to that. Another thing to consider with version 7.1 of Stratum is the new data import functionality. It allows you to take an Excel file and import that as a user directly into Stratum. It's a very convenient way to get this kind of data from another application into Stratum. As you're doing that, some of the things you want to consider as you're laying out a plan for that is at what level of detail do you want to record those transactions? Obviously, on a daily basis, that's really what you want to try to get to. But you might want to separate the time between collecting the data and then how you report it. As an example, you might wait till the end of the week to import all of the data. That gives you time to make corrections, maybe time to make sure that all the entries for the week are in, but yet you want to record it at a daily basis. Another thing to consider is the accuracy of that data, and we'll get back to this in a minute. But we're all human. We're all going to make mistakes every once in a while, and I might not clock in or I might not clock out as a line worker, or maybe I don't put in the appropriate production line that I'm working on or the work center I'm working on. So you want to put in, you want to build into your process a way to make those corrections and get those fed back into Stratum. One of the features within Stratum is what we call actions, and actions allow you to run automated processes to find exceptions in data. So you might run an action against the labor data and say, hey, wait a minute, something's not right. We're missing a key component, and be able to send that action out or that information out to appropriate people via an email for them to take action on it. And then the other thing you want to start mapping out is at what level of detail do you want to capture this data? So getting down to, even obviously employee level, but what work center are they working on at that time? Can you then have a hierarchy that goes, work center to line to plant to division? Again, this is going to give you that drilling capability with a viewer to start aggregating the hours, the rates, the dollars, that kind of thing at these various levels. And then if you can tie it into the production information or the product hierarchy, that gives you just a real good set of data to now analyze. And then finally, with labor data, again, it's I don't want to say it's prone to issues or errors, but it's an iterative process. Don't wait to make sure everything's mapped out and in place and everything's been checked out. Start with what you've got. And then as you continue to use the process and continue to bring in more of the labor data as time goes on, alter and fine-tune the processes. Start again with what you've got. That information's good. And then as we continue to go on, we can fine-tune that process and get more detailed information, and maybe at different dimensions or hierarchies within your organization. So that's kind of an introduction to some of the things that we've done with other customers, bringing in labor or time reporting information into Stratum.